It's a mini movie, you know, a little snippet of greatness. Williamsburg, Block 4, Brooklyn, New York. You know, this is what we do. Work hard, you know, get a little photo shoot in. Trying to prepare myself for the Slam magazines and the GQ magazines and stuff like that. But it's gonna be fun. Have a good time. Watch me work.
I'm ready, mama, I'm ready, Mel's, are you ready? Scholar Rich, we ready, Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to be a star? The lights, the love, the hate, it comes if you're on my side. Hold on, we're on our way, so tell me, are you ready? Ignore what the haters say, headed to the bank, cause these haters don't affect my pay. Sunshine and sneakers clean, a good day. Every day is good, I'm alive, that's what I should say. Swear to God, I wake up feeling like a superhero. Going ham for that bread and cheese, call it superhero. Green got me feeling lazy, smoking on that weeping willow. But I get higher than my grades, 4.0. Are you ready? Are you ready to be a star? The lights, the love, the hate, it comes if you're on my side. Hold on, we're on our way, so tell me, are you ready? I'm headed to the top, about to be the best. Much flyer level than how I dress. About to take flight, hope my boo becomes my stewardess. If you ain't a new chick, I know you ain't new to this. Smart, broke, and swaggy, nigga, I be on my goofy shit. Damn, I love teaching, niggas still be on my student shit. Say I got a smart mouth, cause I be on my stupid shit. Heart is on my sleeves, I got the scars and the proof and shit. Are you ready? Are you ready to be a star? The lights, the love, the hate, it comes if you're on my side. Hold on, we're on our way, so tell me, are you ready?
They say success is a local plan. I fly the plane of success and I don't even land. My mission is to proceed until I get it. And y'all niggas low lead and I consistent. Roll with us or get left back. We just Nike beats and check tracks. And all y'all gon' hate, it's just that. All of the lights Kanye, it's just rap. She feel the pain every time I go. Heart beats fast, but them lonely nights are slow. Aviator shades, so them lights are still blinding. No tour bus alone, no covers, but it's kinda cold. That's the life that you gotta live when you tryna be big and handle biz. But I hope it still remain. That's the problem if you tryna be the front of my name.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to be a star? The lights, the love, the hate, it comes if you're on my side. Hold on, we're on our way, so tell me, are you ready? I've been ready. Jalen, you ready? Nuts, are you ready? You ready? You ready? The pain, they come, but you know we love. Move on, we on our way. We ready?
By the way, over there, it's my best friend Mike, my big brother Donald. Hold me down. See the head in the photo shoot with me. We're getting money over here. We're gonna do a few more shots. Do a little bit of dribbling stuff and some in the camera stuff and stuff like that. That's my man AJ, skyscraper. So we getting money over here, man. That's what we do. This is Williamsburg. Work hard. We're gonna keep working hard till we get there. NBA. It's a goal. Tiff, good looking, baby. We're on Block 4. Good looking. Appreciate you. Shout out to my homegirl, Nicole. You know, she wanted to talk. I think by the time y'all see this, I think I may be in the NBA. I think it's going to happen. Just remember, it is July 19th, 2010. Ron, remember I said that. Soon, before you see this, I'll be in the NBA, and it'll be like a LeBron James kind of thing, but Jamal Lynch, because that's who I am. So be prepared, stay ready, and it's gonna be great. I mean, like epic. Seriously. So Williamsburg, we here. I got y'all on my back. We live. Love y'all, man.
Say go, New York, go, New York, go. Say go, New York, go, New York, go. Say go, New York, go, new team, it's the same dream. New Knicks City uniform, they stay clean. I just caught mine off of Fanatics in the garden with my hands in the air, we back at it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to SKF Weekly. You see it. I'm your man, Ron. That's my brother, John. Jose's sitting this one out, but we got him. We holding it down. As you guys can see, we did a little something different to start the show. We wanted to do a quick tribute to somebody who's near and dear to us, one of our peoples. From where we're from, Williamsburg Projects, our guy Jamal Lynch, Lil Horse, and we got a special guest today, Uncle Freezy from Blarn's Tears, to start the show. We're really excited about that conversation, talking about the Knicks. But before we get into it, just wanted to say a few words real quick in remembrance of our guy. So, John, what's going on, my brother?
Man, everything's well. Thank you for having me on, Ron. As always, pleasure to be here with you. Yeah, man. Shout outs to everybody for joining us today. Yeah, we lost a good one, young brother, our little brother, young horse Jamal Lynch, who had dreams of playing in the NBA, and he actually did play, but never made it to the official NBA, but did play for the Erie Bayhawks, which is a Knicks affiliate. It was G League, so he made it that to the highest point that any one of us would have ever dreamed. You know what I mean? And he played overseas. Played in Croatia and a few other places. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, he was just a young bright star. You know what I mean? He will be surely missed. You know what I mean? And shout outs to his big brother. Our brother. Horse. Horse is. We're here for you, brother. And anything you need, don't hesitate to reach out. But yeah, man, we lost a good one.
Yeah, we definitely did, man. Gone too soon. Another young brother dealing with a terrible illness that plagues a lot of us in this world. So it's a shame. And, wish he could have many more years on this earth because, like John said multiple times, he's a good one, man. To know him is to love him. And he was loved by many people with a great spirit, a great smile, someone you just, you really want to be around. And I never forget when he was going to try out for the Brooklyn Nets. He was like, "Yeah, getting ready to go try out for them." And, you never know what can happen. You'll see. And I don't even remember, quite frankly, because I didn't talk to him right after that. I don't know if he made the tryout or if he didn't make the tryout. But what I do remember is that everything got cut short because he wound up getting injured during that time. So
Right.
it's a shame, man. Really, really good dude, man. Really good dude, and just unbelievable that we have to deal with such loss these days. But that's life. But it's still, you just never want to get used to that stuff, man.
Yeah. And just I want to shout out. I know he used to do a lot of foundations, but one of the foundations that he really supported was Dribble for Cancer, and it basically helps young children who are dealing with cancer. And unfortunately, he passed of cancer too. So when you get a chance, take a look at anything that you can support in any kind of shape, way, form, to help support anything cancer related to defeat cancer. Please do so.
Definitely. So Before we move on and hopefully get to a lighter note, which I know he would enjoy and appreciate because he was a basketball head, we'll start talking Knick basketball and everything related to that with our guy Uncle Freezy. But I also wanted to give a big acknowledgement, rest in peace to one of the most talented young actors I knew growing up, Mr. Malcolm Jamal Warner. Somebody we grew up. I mean, the Cosby Show is a staple of a lot of our lives, man. We didn't have all these other things, phones and things to distract us. We was in the house watching the Cosby Show at a certain time of night. We were outside playing, but when it got dark, we was in the house eating dinner, waiting for the Cosby Show. So it's a terrible loss to watch. His life get cut short as well. Very talented actor. Even to this day, all of the stuff he was doing, and when I heard the news about it earlier today, I had just finished watching an episode of Fresh Prince when he played Hillary's love interest at the time. So I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah,
bro, it's crazy.
It's a wild time.
Yeah. Anyway, so without further ado, I know it's tough. We coming on here with some sad news and to kind of switch the pace and move forward, but let's get it going. I need something. Pump me up. All right. Let's bring our guy to the stage, the one and only, the man of Mr. Blorence Tears, the number one chief rocker, Mr. Uncle Freezy. What up, Freezy?
What's going on?
Just want to say, for those that are believers, just want to say to y'all too and everybody mourning, may Yahweh bring comfort and blessings to you in a troublesome time. And though our spirits will always yearn for these brothers that passed away, it's paramount that we acknowledge their existence. For those that believe, they know we'll see these brothers again. And for those, that are still here, taking in breath, we have to comfort them, and be around for each other. And remember, even in some moments we feel like are down moments, and for moments that we feel like are high moments, the main thing we should focus on is keeping our faith and brotherhood and being there and supporting each other. And I know it sounds like a whole bunch of Wheel of Fortune words or Jeopardy words or whatever, but for those that have had passings of loved ones that are close to you, sometimes you need that comforter to help you get through moments. And while for some of us, that comfort comes in believing, and for others, that comfort comes in our family and extended family, and what we can do by being there for each other or doing something for each other. And all of it doesn't have to be financial. Some of it is just being present in the moment. So sometimes just being present in the moment for our brethren in a tough time help us heal. We won't be healed completely, but day by day, we'll pick up the pieces, get better, be better able to be equipped to handle these moments and things of that sort. So while I didn't know that brother, I do feel for y'all as someone close to him. So if it's impacting y'all, it's impacting me as y'all brother that is going to stand in the gap with y'all and for y'all in y'all time of loss. So I just wanted to say that. And also want to say, man, Malcolm Jamal Warner is from my neighbor, man. He's from Jersey City.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. Wow.
Yeah. Man. That man, I think he went to academic, man. I went to Dickinson. Yeah, man. And you be hearing about this stuff, you're like, dang, bro. All that man wanted to do was just get away from everything and go on vacation. And he never coming back. Not the way he went.
Right.
That man would have never thought, nobody would have ever thought that man wasn't gonna return from vacation. And you get this. So on the one hand, you have a brother that fought illness as long and as hard as he could before, Yahweh called his name, and then the other brother, something unexpected just like that, take his life, just snatch his life, man. So yeah. So yeah, y'all.
Thanks
Yeah,
for sharing, man.
thank
Much
you. Yeah.
appreciated.
Yeah, man.
It's a shame, man. It's a shame, but it's like this is, they say death comes in threes, and for me, that's actually the case. My boy Rick passed away. Just went to his wake on Wednesday, and we hear about our little brother, Lil Horse, and then now Malcolm Jamal Warner. Like, oh my God, man, just don't stop.
Yeah.
Well,
I wish we could have snuck. I wish we could have snuck Tom Thibodeau offense in there instead of Theo. Keep Theo and put Tom Thibodeau rotations in there.
let's
That'd
get that out of there, and that drop coverage if we could.
be
Get that out of there. Man, I just want to shout out the chat real quick before we move forward. Real quick, shout out to Walter Blackman in the building, Nick Nation in the building, Kerry Cox is here, Craig is here, Joey Rip 'em Up Sports is here, and our RIP and condolences to your brother. I know he died back in '93, but I know this week is the anniversary of his death. Thanks to you putting that in the chat. Sorry for that, man. I know it's always a tough time.
Yeah.
Shout out to Julian Blum in the building. Shout out to Shoquan. Crim's dad in the building. Juan B is here. Smarter than your average. Another one of our brothers from the neighborhood. Appreciate you, my guy. Let me see here. Okay, Prezi the boss is in the building. What up, Prezi? Randu is here. Drip Moore is in the building. Preferred barber of still Knicks fans and the Knicks community. Salute to you.
Oh,
Shout out to Cardiac Knicks, Rasul Thomas, Johnny Davis, JM3 in the building. HRM is here. Appreciate all you guys. Kareem Grant, what up, twin? D Block in the building. What up, D Block? Appreciate you. And shout out to all of y'all. Y'all know who you are, members of the SKF Army. Shout out to y'all as well. Salute to F Sin in the building, and that Franco, my guy. What's going on, brother? And shout out to D Rex, Dorcosaurus Rex in the building. Salute. Okay. So guys, it's been a little quiet. Things it's gonna happen. I mean, especially the way the Knicks has been moving throughout the regular season to the playoffs and into the offseason. It's like it's never stopping. The Knicks are on everybody's tongue throughout every day of sports. But it's finally calmed down and things are getting a little quiet. But there's some things that are still happening. There's the rumor mill it just won't stop. So here's the rumor. I'll start off with this rumor first because this is the rumor. Like I would say 3/4 of the Knicks fan base does not want to hear it, but it don't go away. And that's Mr. Ben Simmons, y'all. The Knicks is still talking to Ben Simmons. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Breezy, what's your thoughts on Ben Simmons, brother?
So it's multi-layered with Ben Simmons, right? It's multi-layered, it's complicated and complex. The thing is, now that Ben Simmons had the corrective surgery, remember the teams he were with kept missing the back injury. They misdiagnosed, or not misdiagnosed, I'm sorry, but didn't diagnose an injury to Ben Simmons' back.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like in the early David Wright years. Remember David Wright was they couldn't find what it is, and and then they finally find out that it's spinal stenosis. With David Wright, it is spinal stenosis.
Right.
They finally find out, but then it's too late because it already had progressed. If they had caught it in the beginning, we would not have been retiring a jersey number this weekend, right? We'd have been doing that maybe 5 or 6 years from now, right? But the thing with Ben Simmons, in my opinion, is if the surgery has corrected his ailment and you can catch lightning in the bottle, why not offer the former number 1 pick the vet minimum or something close to it to see if you can be the benefactor of that lightning in the bottle? That's the first part of it, right? Because even if it doesn't pay out, man, he's your 14th, 15th guy. So what? Right? You were going to sign a veteran anyway, right? He'd be a 13, 14, 15 guy. So what? Right? If it don't work out. If it does work out, right, then, and you caught lightning in the bottle, now you have a borderline starter, borderline key rotation piece for this championship run that you're on, right? And in a lineup of Ben Simmons, Mitchell Robinson, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and did I say Mitchell Robinson? Mitch,
Yeah.
Ben, OG, Bridges, and Deuce to close out games defensively is incredible just to think about. Just to think about a closing lineup, of that unit,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, the other thing about it is this. The other thing about it is this, right? If he doesn't say, if he's just something in the middle, say he's just a valuable vet, right? Somebody that can contribute. Man, you only paid him close to the vet minimum, right? And we do that every man. Last year we brought in Cameron Payne on a vet minimum,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we basically got vet minimum performance. He was crucial in some areas and not so crucial in other areas, or whatever. So for the money that you're spending versus the risk reward proposition that you're leveraging, I think it'll be smart to at least look at it. Now, if it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. With me, I know the Knicks need a big guard to neutralize the exotic defenses that the Knicks face because Jalen Brunson is a shorter guard, right? It's just worth having a bigger ball handling guy to neutralize all these exotic defenses that the Knicks face when they're on offense.
Mm.
So if Ben Simmons is, if we catch lightning in a bottle, we have lightning in a bottle for the vet minimum, right? If he's a dog and he sucked, we're paying him the vet minimum, right? So that's the addition to the roster part, right? That's the why do you bring in Ben Simmons, the thought process.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that's complex, and there are a lot of layers in there to talk about, like, what happens with such and such and such. We could talk about that ad nauseum. I think that's a summertime topic that'll last all the way through. If he signs, we'll be talking about that until he leaves, till he hangs up his jersey.
Yeah.
Right. Now, in terms of the on the floor part, what do you do with other guys on the roster that were in those roles? Are you telling the guys that was in that role that Ben Simmons is going to take, that they're no longer going to be in that role? It's a lot of meat on the bone with this Ben Simmons conversation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It really is. It really is. John, I know your thoughts because we've talked about this, obviously, but what are your thoughts knowing that this realistically has popped up again? Like realistically, it's popped up again. So they obviously serious about looking at it.
Listen, the Knicks are going to look at underneath every rock, right? No stone unturned, right? And I think they need to. I think that's the job of the front office, right? And I think if they weren't doing that, they wouldn't be doing their job correctly. So kudos to them. You know what I mean? They're keeping tabs on almost everyone that they have interest in. As for me, I'm neither here nor there. Like if I was running the front office, I would move away from the Ben Simmons conversation. I would be looking for someone younger, someone who has potential and just can grow with the team in the future. But again, you're looking at just offering a veterans minimum right now, or something close to. So young players are not going to fit that. Right. That criteria. So I just at this point, it's a 15-man roster spot. I wouldn't be mad either way if they went Ben Simmons or not. It's a shot at the dark. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at it though. I'm not mad at the team. Look, keeping their eyes on it.
Yeah, and I think I'm with both of you, fine gentlemen. I'm with you that I could go either way. I at one point earlier, maybe about a month ago, I was on the Ben Simmons train. Like I'm thinking the same way Freezy's saying right now, which I still kind of am. In the back of my head, it's still there. Like, maybe this is lightning in the bottle. right? He hadn't had a real chance to play. He had to deal with a lot of issues mentally that he was working through, and I think he's in a better space now. Of course, obviously, everybody's talking about it would be tough for him doing that back in New York. We all know that. But the other side of it is, he actually got to play with a talented club with the Clippers, and he contributed a little bit. Now, the other side of it that I started to think of was he did look in spot moments. He looked pretty good. He had some nice moments. And then defensively, as far as the way he was locking down on guys, he looked really good at moments too. But, the other thing I started to wonder about was, and it's all about what works for a team. But I did wonder, like, he's not very expensive of a proposition. And I was like, well, why didn't the Clippers bring him back? Because I can't see the Clippers not being able to use him in some capacity. They already had him on the team. They know how to fit him into their circle of play. Yet they decided not to bring him back. We know that they just recently signed CP3, Chris Paul. So I was just wondering about that. Now, the other thing too about Ben Simmons that this is what kind of, and I know not everybody's on the same page, but the one thing that bothers me a little bit is, like, if this was any other situation and this person wasn't out there, I'm 100% like, why not? Just bring Ben Simmons in, whatever. If anything, let him fight it out with the guys in practice. And if he gets to play, he earned it, right? But then I'm like, that vet minimum contract goes to Ben Simmons, but it could have went to Landry Shamet. And that's what bothers me, guys. I'm sorry. I know some people are like iffy on Landry.
Everybody.
I know. I'm like, Shamet.
That man said Landry Shamet, bro. Listen, that man said Landry Shamet.
Shamet is the best. If he came to the Knicks right now, behind Karl Anthony Towns, he's the best 3-point shooter we got. That's just a fact. And I just feel like at some point, now this could all be a moot point. Brunson's shooting could go up again. Mikal Bridges' shooting could go back to what it was for his career, and so could OG Anunoby from the corner and all that. Last year could be an anomaly. But I'm just saying, I think that they could use another knockdown 3-point shooter. But I digress.
Well, okay, so who's the knockdown 3-point shooter?
Landry Shamet shot 44% in the month of April, and that's when he was back to playing on multiple attempts. In some games, he had 3, 5, 6, 7 attempts. So I'm looking at it like that. The first couple of months, he struggled because he was still coming back from the shoulder.
Look at the game log. Did you look at the game log of those teams Landry Shamet played against?
Listen, but that was the time he got to play. Tibbs is finicky. What can I say? What can we do, Freezy? We can only look at the numbers in front of us with the people that he played. I can't change it. I wish I could.
Bro, this love affair with light-skinned people has gone too far, bro.
Listen, started with
with light-skinned people, bro.
It never stopped.
Yo, we taking this light-skinned people thing too far, bro. Like this tan standing, bro. We
Tan standing.
Yo, this khaki smacky, bro. Things going too far, bro. Landry Shamet, man, come on, dog. I mean, come on, dog.
I personally think that in the end, they don't really need to do this. I think the Knicks is just trying to be as foolproof as they can be with having that. I mean, you don't want to hold on to a veteran minimum contract for what?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then later your proposition, you can't pick up somebody later in the season, most likely for a vet min. You could, but you don't know who's gonna, be available. Now's the time to use it on somebody. So, and that's from that standpoint, fine. I get it, but I prefer to have one of these young players get that 10th spot, in my opinion, or 11th spot, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So we'll see. Anyway, but that's the Ben Simmons thing.
But here's the kicker too, though. Like with those veteran minimum contracts, like they can pretty much like release that anytime they want. Those aren't like guaranteed contracts, right? So they like you'll see them, just release.
Hey, look at Anthony D comment. Look at
Yeah.
Hey man, listen. Y'all gonna stop disrespecting Landry Shamet like he's Evan Fournier. He's Evan Fournier. Y'all, man. First off, shout out to Keith Turner in the building. D Grant, Sherwin is here. Anthony D's in the building. Appreciate y'all. Luna Jeans in the building. Hey, Luna, I hope you are feeling good and feeling better. Best of health to you. Appreciate you. And blessings. Miguel P in the building. Appreciate all of y'all that have jumped in and are watching now. Please smash that like button for the show. Show your love. We got over 132 people watching across all platforms. Thank you guys. Please share out to your peoples on X. Smash the like button on YouTube and on Facebook. Just keep doing what y'all doing. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Yeah. So another rumor, we kind of talked about a little bit about this past Saturday. I didn't really even know about this. That was the first time I heard about it, but it's still in the air and it's been reported by different people. So it's a real rumor. Do I think the Knicks are going to actually do it? No. And that's the Austin Reaves rumor from the Lakers coming to the Knicks in a possible Mikal Bridges switch. And I think it was Austin Reaves and Rui Hachimura, which I will say, if the trade were to go down, I'm not mad at the trade. I just don't think there's a need to do it. But if they were going to do it for some other reason, because they feel like Mikal wouldn't be happy with their contract extension agreement or something like that, I would understand and I'd be okay with it. But I don't think they should do it. I think they should hold on to Mikal unless you are actually going to get one of the big fishes, which there's only really one that we're talking about. You know who that is. What's your thoughts on that, Freezy? First off, would you even be happy with Austin Reaves and Rui coming here in exchange for Mikal?
I love the Austin Reaves part. I don't love the Rui Hachimura part. And for obvious reasons with Rui, the Rui thing, and I'm not a Rui hater, right? I'm not a Rui hater. I just think the fit, how he fits, is going to be cumbersome based on what we're looking to move away from and bring in with a new head coach, right? Like a tweener, like a 3/4 that is pass dependent on offense and is not a great defender, rebounder, 3-point shooter type. To me, it's just like adding another healthy body, which you need those during the season. You need bodies, you need productive guys. But if we're going to trade Bridges, who we saw 1 year of with one coach, and we don't know what he's going to be with the next coach, do you trade him to the Lakers and then have him turn into last year Bridges and then regret it? Right. That's one of the things that I think about. A lineup with OG Anunoby and Rui Hachimura concerns me. I'm not for sure how that. Not saying that it won't work. Now understand, I'm saying it's a concern. I'm not stating this as a measure of fact. I'm just saying that I have to see them together to understand, to process how something like that would work. Because I don't think Rui is coming off the bench, right? And so if you do a 2-for-1 and you bring two starters in, then now which one of those guys is going to go to the bench? If you start Austin Reaves, that means Rui is going to be happy coming off your bench. I'm not sure. Right? There are a lot of things to think about when you think about just matching the money, and plus what does Rui Hachimura give you that you can't get from the guys that you already have? Unless you're thinking, well, if good is good, then adding more good can be great, right? 6'8" tweener guy, whatever, type of. I think a Rui trading for Rui probably blocks up 40, basically. And think about this also. If you have OG at 6'7", 240, and then you have the guy you just signed at 6'9", 270, how are you gonna implement OG, Yabusele, and Rui Hachimura together? Like what type of so it's a lot of stuff to process as opposed to just thinking about these things on the surface.
That's a good point. I mean, that is true. That does make it. The Knicks have a weird way of clustering players. We've gone from clustering 6'4" guards to clustering 6'7", 6'8" forwards, and we can obviously, if doing a trade like that, would make it even worse. But what's your thoughts, John? How do you feel about that?
I think I'm on the same page as Reaves because look, you got Yabusele, you got Jordan Clarkson. It's like you don't really have that much to maneuver. You know what I mean? Unless you're making additional trades that will open up some roster. If it's just one, just that one move to start the season, I think, you just don't know what you're going to get. You're going to have a full roster. You're not going to have any cohesiveness to start the season. Which is a big deal for a new coach. You need players who have played together in order to train and to teach like a new scheme specifically, right? And so at the very least, he's got guys who's played together, and all he has to do is bring two guys to the forefront and get them a part of this team. If you do that, now you're switching out probably completely a new starting lineup, some more bench players, so it's a mix and match situation that may not fit. So I'm more to the liking of sticking with Bridges than
And John, and can I interject one other thing too?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's one other thing. So if Rui Hachimura starts and then you bring Austin Reaves off the bench with Jordan Clarkson, what do you do with Deuce McBride?
Correct.
So there are a lot of like this. So all the topics, like for instance, you guys are I've been knowing you guys for a while, and I know you guys are thinkers. So when y'all get topics like this, I know y'all drill down on this stuff and kind of break these things down to the very last compound, to quote a Bronx rapper from back in the day, right? So when you think about all these scenarios, you're like, okay, so when is tinkering too much tinkering, basically?
Right. That's what's going to happen.
It's very true. Very true. And at some point, the other thing is we went through one season respectably, and it made sense. We went through one season of seeing 4 draft pick young players sit on the bench and learn behind the starters and the bench players that we had, even to our detriment with the bench. But how many more seasons are we going to continue to do that without seeing what we actually have before finding out later, after we've had a guy on our multiple guys on our bench for 2 years, who knows, in some cases even 3 years, that they not it. So we won't know what they are until we play them. And at some point you got to give a guy a shot. So I think these young players, not really, I'm not going to say so much based off the summer league, but just another year of playing basketball in the NBA, deserve to have a shot to kind of fight it out and see if they can contribute to it's they're dark horses. It's long shots to make the roster anyway, but they should have a shot, in my opinion, to make the roster in the rotation. And I still don't think that, I think Tom Thibodeau learned the hard way that assuming that guys aren't ready and that, just having individual hunger wouldn't be enough to add something to the rotation that would be positive towards victories. I think he learned that the hard way with, the benching of guys like DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet. Anyway, we saw what we could do in the playoffs to help the team defensively. But let me get to this super chat real quick and then we'll move on. You know what it is. Shout out to my guy, Paris Duggar. Thank you for the generous super chat. He says, are you comparing Shamet to Simmons, a 6'10" PG type? No, I wouldn't do that. I don't think that's right. That's not fair, Parrish. I'm comparing a healthy Landry Shamet to a hope he's healthy Ben Simmons. That's what I was doing. But that's just, if you want a little clarity, that's what I was saying. Okay. But anyway, thank you once again, Parrish. Appreciate you. Shout out to all y'all who are joining in now. Please smash that like button for the show. Thank you guys for being here. As we continue. So I wanted to talk real quick. One of the things that I think is really interesting about this Mike Brown hire, I know no matter how long we go until the season starts, there's going to be a bunch of people that are still on the fence about Mike Brown. Whether it's warranted or not, we don't know. One of the things we know that we can't disregard is that Mike Brown is a good coach. Your contention as a Knicks fan is he a good enough coach to get the Knicks further than we've gotten so far? That's the only thing that should be on your mind. You cannot question the man's ability to coach games. He has a winning record in the regular season. He has a winning record in the playoffs, and he's been to the promised land multiple times, and he's got rings. Even if he wasn't the head coach, he's got the hardware. So we know that. But one of the things that I think we all were a little bit concerned about when it comes to Tom Thibodeau is, and this is something I've been on Thibodeau forever about, in-game adjustments. I think Tom Thibodeau was one of the worst coaches in the NBA at in-game adjustments. And I think it's also just because that's not his style of coaching. I think he does a lot of his adjustments and changes when the game is over. His preparation, his stuff. And I also think that the way that the new NBA is going with all of these back-to-back games, it's fun for us as fans because, every other day there's a game. But for players, the fact that they're not having full practices and stuff, or at least Tibbs wasn't running full practices anymore, definitely hurt them. Because my whole thing about Tibbs, I used to love saying this, man, Nick's going to get a full practice. Watch out. Watch what Tibbs does with them. And I haven't really been able to say that a lot in the last year or two. They haven't had a chance to have a lot of full practices. Now, that being said, we know Mike Brown likes to institute these full practices whenever he can, no matter what. He don't care. That's a little interesting, too. You guys worry about minutes. We may not have to worry about so much of that during games, but outside of games, the Knicks may be a little tired and lethargic to start games because of the practices they do. We got to watch that and monitor it. But the one thing that I do know that Mike Brown is very high on is in-game adjustments. He believes in those strongly. And I want to get Freezy and John's thoughts on in-game adjustments, the importance, and hopefully the fact that Mike Brown may be a welcome change to this for our New York Knicks squad. But before I do that, let me play this real quick video of Mike Brown talking about in-game adjustments and the importance of it. It's only a minute or so. And this is obviously his time with Sacramento because, it is what it is. There, hold on. Let me share my screen here. Okay, Mike Brown. There he is. All right, here we go.
Worked throughout the year.
No, you have to try to make adjustments because at the end of the day, it's if you don't and you wait, then you're going home. So if something's not working, now the timing of it is crucial because it may not work the first two times, but you're like, okay, it didn't work because that dude made a tough shot, or they got a tip in at the last second, whatever it is. And so you may let it ride a little bit more, but if something just doesn't look like it's working from the jump street, then we got to change it. And and with like something that was evident in our last game, we started Keegan on Steph. He did a great job in the first half. We knew Steph was going to come out firing, and Steph had Keegan on him most of the game. And so I think in that third quarter, Steph hit a couple of quick buckets, and right away, boom, we switched the matchups. To give them a different look. So little things like that are something that we all as a staff have to pay attention for and not wait too long because if you do, maybe going home.
There you go. Thanks, everyone.
Watch what magnesium.
Hopefully everybody was able to hear that okay. Yeah. So Freezy, what's your thoughts on the importance of in-game adjustments? Now, keep in mind, guys, I'm not oblivious to the fact that I say that Tom Thibodeau wasn't strong at in-game adjustments, yet he had a very good track record of success with the New York Knicks. So what's your thoughts on in-game adjustments, Freezy? Do you think it's really important? And are you optimistic about Mike Brown's approach to them as opposed to Tibbs's approach?
I would say, so this is another great question, right? How do we as Knicks fans feel about in-game adjustments is a great question, right? The first part, I think the keystone of in-game adjustments is recognizing that the other team has a decided advantage, because them having an advantage may be a short-term thing. Like maybe they come out shooting 45% from three instead of 38% from three, and you know that the law of large numbers, it'll balance itself out, right? Not overreacting to a team coming out 4 of 7 for three, and then you scrap your whole defensive game plan because they made 4 out of 7, right? So when you recognize that the team has a decided advantage, then my belief is that you make an adjustment on the fly, or you call a timeout to coach up and inform everybody about what the coaching staff is seeing. And my thing is, I think Tom Thibodeau used B more than he used A, right? When the other team had a decided advantage, I think he would call a timeout and just try to coach the guys up about what he's seeing is the other team's advantage and try to tell them what to do instead of making a scheme or rotation adjustment, like making the philosophy adjustment versus making a scheme adjustment. Maybe you go to pressuring the ball on made baskets and set up in some type of 1-3-1 look just to throw off their rhythm, right? Schematics. Or maybe you take out a smaller guard and put in a jumbo wing in order to pressure their passing angles and play passing lanes to force them to dribble the ball more, to force them to dribble penetrate as opposed to pass the ball around the perimeter, right? I don't think Tibbs did that. I think Tom Thibodeau used to call timeouts, sit down in that chair and say, hey guys, we got to get our energy up. We got to play harder, right? I think those were like some of Tibbs' thing. It's like the skill versus will. Like, I'm not going to change certain things. I'm just going to get on guys to play harder, right? I think that's probably some of the thing that Mike Brown would do. Like when you mentioned that he took the tall, light-skinned kid from Sacramento to guard Steph Curry, as opposed to having his normal point of attack defender to guard Steph, is a out of game and in game adjustment. Like he recognized it. He talked to the press about it. That's outside of the court, right? And then he's doing it in court. Like that makes me think like some nights you might see Mo Diawara. Some nights you may see Pacom Dadier randomly, right? Like, come here, kid. Like you may see certain things, certain adjustments. And quite frankly, and this is not me kicking Tom Thibodeau's back in, because Tom Thibodeau, in my mind, is a borderline Hall of Fame coach. He's a great NBA coach. He wins a lot of games. He establishes a lot of stuff when he shows up, right? But Mike Brown is a different type guy where he's like, okay, Steph's looking to pull up from 30 feet, right? So instead of letting him create space on a shorter guy and get that shot off, we'll put a 6'8" guy, one of our 6'8" athletes on him. That way, wingspan and athleticism can cover up for the gaps that Steph Curry creates with his dribble pull-up threes. Mm. And so how do I feel about in-game adjustment? Man, when we played in high school, our coach would would change defensive schemes like every 3 trips down the floor. He changed offense like every 3 or 4 trips down the floor. He'll change something just to keep the other coach and team guessing. So
I hear that. What's your thoughts, John? How you feel about that?
Yeah, very similar. I mean, I'm happy that we're the change in the guards has happened right now, and we're going to see something a little bit more different than what we've seen in the past. Mike Brown is a coach that's going to give in-game adjustments, and is going to play you know enough players throughout the season so you can get a good look at. So with that is there's going to be some differences. Outside of that, you're going to see a lot of the same, where culture is driven by philosophy, right? And so I think it's important that you keep that culture that we've built with Tibbs. It's a winning culture, and I think Mike Brown's going to keep that. The key is, how much can we win with Mike Brown, right? And we won't know until we see it. And it takes a couple of seasons to get acclimated with the coaches, with just the coach's identity and what he wants to bring forth. You know what I mean? So we'll see how quickly this current roster can adjust, because there's going to be an adjustment phase, and then we're going to see how those two phases sort of match, and see if we can get something to gel. Again, with a move like this, you got 3 years to make some noise. You know what I mean? And if you don't make the noise in 3 years, then Mike Brown will be in the chopping block, and we'll be moving on. I mean, that's really where the Knicks are in this stage of the game, right? They're looking to win it all or not, and they're going to make every adjustment necessary to bring a winning team here to New York. So it's not only the players; it's also the coaching.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. And I think that that's what. So one of the things Freezy said is that's like the trickle down effect of Mike Brown's thought process and philosophy of how he wants to coach and the things he's willing to do, his flexibility. That is what I'm looking at. If he's the type to make adjustments that will help the team, no matter what they are, that is in some ways, you might be able to see somebody get opportunity that normally wouldn't in the past under Tibbs and our style of how the Knicks were moving the last 4 or 5 years, whatever it may be. And I think Mike Brown is willing to do that. As we've already learned, Mike Brown is not beholden to a 7, 8, 9-man rotation. He likes to play a 10-man rotation. In some cases, he will go 11, depending on situation. But he also
back-to-back games, back-to-back,
right?
Yeah.
And he also is something I've said, and just looking at limited stuff that I've seen Mike Brown do. I haven't really studied him or seen a lot of Sacramento games or whatever, wherever he may have been. But he seems willing to go with what makes sense, even if it might be the move that is a little questionable. A player just may not have it, and Mike Brown seems willing to go down the line and bring somebody else in for the chance to win a basketball game, rather than just to placate somebody who's a star player or a player who should be out there if they're not going good, or if they're not effectively carrying out whatever his game plan is that they've gone over. So that's the thing about Mike Brown that I think the Knicks will appreciate, especially with the fact that we've had issues with accountability in recent times. So we'll see how it all plays out. We're not going to, toot the horn too much until it actually comes to fruition and we actually see these Knicks playing and Mike Brown teachings and stuff starts to work. But, the other thing about Mike Brown that I wanted to talk about real quick. Before I do that, I just wanted to say shout out to Sherwin. Sherwin, we do have a couple of 6'8", splitting hairs, 6'6" to 6'9" guys on this team. There is a few. Okay. And let's not forget that the Knicks may be in the process of signing certain people to two-way contracts. We don't know if this is going to happen, but Dink Pate may get one of those two ways, and he's 6'8". Pacom Dadier is still listed at 6'8", even though we all think he's taller than that, but that's what they have him listed as. But either way, whatever, 6'8", 6'9", whatever you want to call him. And some people may think he's 6'10". He might have grown a little bit more. We don't know. And then also another guy that we've been talking about that everybody kind of likes his potential and talent, it's still raw, is Muhammad Diawara, who's 6'9".
Kumo D.
Yeah, there's guys. You just don't know. We got to see what happens.
I forgot y'all young. Y'all don't know who Kumo D is, so.
Whatever.
Listen, not that young.
When we all get up in the morning, I go to work. Come on, man.
Oh, you get the job done?
I do.
No, you go to work. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So the other thing that I wanted to ask you guys about Mike Brown, right?
John, why can't you ask Ron a question? Can we ask Ron a question?
Yeah, I could ask.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Freezy.
I want to throw you off.
See what happens when you're on the show with other fellow content creators. You never stop, y'all.
Got a question for Ron.
I don't want to put you on the spot. I just wanted to ask you a question in line with what you were already talking about. If that's okay. Do you anticipate a transition period from Tibbs to Mike Brown, similar to when a great coach leaves and another coach has to fill his shoes? See, I'm biting the fingernail.
First off, I'm trying to give Freezy applause. Which is the same question he's asking me. I was about to ask these guys a similar question, just worded a little differently. So Freezy asked about the transition, and I do agree that there is going to be a transition period. And I think it's going to be a little tricky. Will the Knicks be fine? Yes, of course the Knicks will be fine. Will there be some fans freaking out? Yes, there's some fans that are going to freak out. But you got to understand, and this is what I was going to say along the lines of my question. Tom Thibodeau coached a certain style, a certain way. Mike Brown has a different coaching style. As much as we like to say they're the same, they're not. They have similar principles along defensive lines and on offensive lines too, because as I think Freezy said this one time on his show, and it was one of those things that stuck with me forever because I agree with it. Every coach runs the same plays. It's just tinkering and changing things up, adding more or less here or there, but all of them have a base of the same sets of plays.
There's no new basketball role.
Yeah, exactly. So that comfortability is good, right? The Knicks are going to lean on that. But Mike Brown also has to get guys up to speed in this. I don't know. I don't want to. I guess you want to say it's not a short off season. It's a normal off season. But the way everything is going and understanding that this is the first year, it's going to take the team a little time to adapt to what he likes to run and what he likes to have going on out there. And I just think there's going to be a little bit of growing pains with that, especially on the offensive side. Defensively, I think guys' natural ability and the stuff they've already picked up from Tibbs and how he's been running the team for the last years, I think they're going to lean on that while they transition a little bit. The drop coverage thing may change a lot under Brown, but but the offense is what I think is really important, because if we're leaning and going towards maybe a 60-40 split, offense being the bigger number, it's going to take time for this New York Knicks to really adopt Mike Brown's way of doing things. And he also wants to run everything through Jalen Brunson, which puts a lot on him to kind of go away from some of the ISO ball style that Tibbs had him running and what made him comfortable as well, and get into a little bit more movement and finding guys and being a little bit more of a facilitator at times than maybe he's used to. So I hope I answered your question, Freezy.
Right. Basically, what I heard is sometimes transitions can have rough patches. Basically, sometimes.
Yeah.
Ask the Miami Heat when they formed the Big Three. It took them a month to get right. That first month was terrible. I'm always going to point to that until I'm in the grave because that's my best example. Thank you.
Yeah.
What's your feeling on that, John? What do you think?
I mean, I kind of spoke on it a little bit before that. Like, I kind of said similar stuff where it's going to be a transition. There will always be a transition phase between one coach or another. Doesn't necessarily matter whether it's a Hall of Fame coach or not. Like, we've seen transitions happen from Fizdale to someone, who was on his coaching staff, right? And so, like, there's always going to be transitions, and there's always going to be players who are going to excel under someone's tutelage, and some of those players who are not going to excel. You know what I mean? It's all dependent on the player, right? And so what we do know is that we had two players on this roster that had a lot of trust in Tibbs, and that's Brunson and Hart, right? And so because of that trust, now they have to readopt a trust factor with this new coach, and that's going to take some time. You know what I mean? And what's going to be helpful for some, ain't going to be helpful for others. So I think who's going to reap the benefits? I could see Mikal Bridges reaping the benefits of a new coach. You know what I mean? Someone he knows is like, he's going to look at this roster completely different from what it was before he got there, right? And so
I have a thought on it too.
What's your feeling about it, Breezy?
So my thought on it is the opposite. I think it's the opposite. I think the Knicks are gonna get out and run, and it's gonna look so different from what they looked like the last few years that we're gonna kind of grow to love it at first, and then that second time around the NBA when teams know what we're doing, then I think the NBA will catch up. I don't think we'll stumble out of the gate. I think it's the second. I wish somebody made a song. Anybody made a song second time around? I think the second time around the league is like when teams are kind of catch up to us, right? I think Mike Brown is going to have us doing things that we've been craving for a long time. Right, like I think Mike Brown is gonna unleash Mitchell Robinson's athleticism, as opposed to telling him be strong, be strong. I think Mike Brown is gonna say, "Hey, man, be athletic, man, be that athletic Mitch," right? And getting out and running. I think, how many times have you seen Mitchell Robinson outside of 5 feet dunk a basketball in the last 5 years? Maybe twice catch it outside of 5 feet and dunk. I think you're going to see a lot of that, right? Maybe.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think we're going to see. But the downside of that, though, is I think our defense is going to have to catch up, because remember, instead of using your legs on defense, you'll be using your legs on offense. And so now in fourth quarters, tired legs that once couldn't knock down threes late in games are going to be tired legs that are probably going to be get beaten every now and then until Mike Brown figures out his rotation, right? So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Knicks bust out to like a world beaters record initially, and then the league slowly but surely reel us in while Mike Brown continues to learn the roster and work on getting his desired rotation in place.
That's interesting. That's interesting because I when I think about it, I could kind of see that. I agree with you. It does. It's true to form, because I remember also when Mike Brown, had the Sacramento Kings out to that fast start a couple years ago, where they had the best record in the league. And then slowly but surely, as the league started to figure out what they were doing, came back down to earth and it wound up turning out to be a disappointing season for how good they were playing early. Now, the saving grace, Knicks fans, don't go crazy, is that this Knicks team is more talented than that Sacramento team. So I think we'll be okay. And for the betting man out there, Vegas has the Knicks winning 54 games this year. Just put that out there.
But that's the thing. Like, if they don't win 54 games, let's say they end in 7th place, 8th, you know what I mean? Just making the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, that's a possibility too. Like,
can I give y'all one on the flip side of that though, John?
Yeah.
Look at what Kenny Atkinson did with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
66 wins, 64 wins, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I think in the end, as Knicks fans,
I personally don't think the Knicks again are coming out number 1 in this year. I don't think they're ending the season with the first seed. I'll be gladly surprised, but
yeah, I'm not going to say they would. I'm be honest with you too, John. I am not thinking. I'm hoping that they come out number 1, but I don't necessarily think they'd come out number 1 either. But I do think they'd be number 2. I think Cleveland is going to have another good year. I think they got a good team. I think those guys are going to be healthy once again, and as long as they're healthy, they play good basketball. So I expect them to be as good as they were last year. But we'll see. But I don't care. But listen, this is for all the Knicks fans out there or the basketball fans that don't really think about this. It doesn't matter if you 1 or 2. Okay, 1 or 2 means nothing. It's when you get into the 3 and 4s, that's when it starts to matter differently. But 1 and 2 is the same thing. You both get your buys. You know what I mean? You come out on the separate ends of the divisions. You don't play each other until it matters in the Eastern Conference Finals. So 1 and 2, you're okay. It don't matter which one you are. But yeah,
it's the 6 and 7 that you worry about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
8 and 9. Right?
Yeah. Now I will tell you this. Well, let me ask y'all. Rather than telling y'all, does it matter to you if the Knicks say go 1 or 2 and have the traditional course to the playoffs and get to the Eastern Conference Finals and maybe beyond, whatever? Does it matter to you that they went that way, or if the Knicks go into the playoffs 6 or 7 and they run through, get to the Eastern Conference Finals, the same thing? Do you care how they got in? What's your thought, Freezy?
No.
Yeah. John?
Because I think what you and John both said was pretty smart about the transition from one great coach to another coach, right? Just because I have a thought, I'm not totally sold on that thought, and that's why it was valuable to me to hear y'all opinion, right? So if they stumble out of the box, catch fire, and get to 54 wins, or if they come out the box on fire and then stumble around the trade deadline or whatever, and then recapture something to get to 54 wins, it really doesn't matter. All to me, what matters is how they're playing from game 75 through 82 into the playoffs. That's what matters to me.
I hear that. And shout out to Paul M. Thank you for being here, my guy. I disagree with you. He says no Tibbs, no playoffs. 100%. I think that's false.
That would be a catastrophe.
I could coach this New York Knicks team and make the playoffs. I'm telling you.
That would be a catastrophe. I mean, you know.
And of course, I would say, hey, guys, listen, what did Tibbs run last year? Because that's what we're going to run. That's what we're running. But I'm just saying, anybody could coach this current Knicks team and make the playoffs. I'm confident in that 100%. Now, as far as how far they go, that's a different story. But we're talking about just making it. Knicks is making the playoffs, guys.
Well. Also, the caveat is health, right? Everyone has to be healthy.
I didn't want to say
always
it.
Health,
I knew that's the caveat, of course.
Yeah.
But as long as we're semi-healthy, 80 to 85% of the team healthy, we can make the playoffs. But we'll see. We'll see. It's very, very interesting. Now, last thing I wanted to get you guys' thoughts about real quick before we get out of here is just the decision that they have to make going forward. we know the veterans minimum contract thing is still up in the air. We don't know who that's going to go to. It could go to Ben Simmons. It still could, Landry Shamit's name is still out there. Malcolm Brogdon's name was out there, even though he doesn't want to come to New York, but he's still on the Knicks radar for some reason. We know that Marcus Smart is gone. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was pretty interesting, his reasoning for being gone, because he didn't think the Knicks could give him a clear-cut role. And that is a big part of what we're talking about, guys. The Knicks got 9 people currently on this rotation, and we know those 9 guys are going to play. We still don't know how they're going to incorporate Huck Porty. He would be added to that 9, so that would make it 10. And we're talking about getting a veteran minimum person in here. That would be another person, and probably in the pecking order, depending on who it was, would be above Huck Porty. So, yeah, it's hard to determine how that player is going to be used, and you do not want to bring in somebody like I remember before. A lot of people, when Bradley Beal's name was being mentioned, were like, "Oh, let's get Bradley Beal." Well, Bradley Beal's going to want to come in here and be a starter. The Knicks need to have flexibility with whoever they bring in. They already got 9 guys here that they're expecting to be a big part of the team. You don't just go out and bring in another guy who you want to be flexible and just he sees himself as a starter and just throws a monkey wrench in your whole plan. So I think that was going to be tough either way. Even though we knew he was going to the Clippers, it was still going to be a tough proposition.
Right.
That being said, you got guys like Dink Pate, you got Kevin McCullers Jr., you got Muhammad Diawara.
Yeah, Modi. Yeah.
And Marjan Beauchamp. So you got 4 guys, and
Gaudier.
Gaudier is already signed.
Oh, yeah, Kevin McCullough was on a 2-way last year.
Yeah, but his 2-way don't cross over, so they still have a choice whether they're going to bring him back on a new 2-way or not.
Right.
So, with that being said, you got 3 spots, 4 guys. Who gets the spots, guys? Beauchamp, Diawara, Pate, and McCullers Jr.
Some people always say Najee as well.
Oh, shoot. Najee. Damn, that's 5 guys. 5 guys, 3 spots.
Guys. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I apologize. No. It's okay. It's a little tricky. It's 5 guys, 4 spots, but McCullers is only limited to a 2-way. So we also have a rookie contract for a second round that we can apply to some of these guys because where they were picked. But McCullers, because he played 5 or 6 games last year, he used up his rookie eligibility, so we can't give it to him.
Look at that.
That's crazy, right? Sucks. So McCullough has to get one of the 2 ways if we want to bring him back. So anyway, what's your thoughts, John? I'll go with you first this time around.
I mean, it's hard to call it because I think we've talked for a long time to say that Knicks fans want to see the young players have an opportunity. With that said, the opportunity is not everything that's cracked up to be, right? Because what are you going to come in as a 15th guy, maybe see spot minutes? It's not much you can do in spot minutes unless you're like, you catch one, right? You have the ability to score at volume, and that's not going to happen, right? So, I think it should be up for grabs. You know what I mean? That's what the coaches are there for. This is what the off season's there for. The practices will show a lot for these coaches, and whoever they so choose. Outside of going after someone who's like a vet minimum, I think they'll make the right decision for the team. But I just don't think it's going to be that impactful, whatever move they make.
So I'm going to put the onus on you, Freezy. You got to make the hard call, man.
Okay.
Diawara, McCullers, Dink Pate, Najee, Beauchamp. And
So are we talking? So the question is, are we talking dream scenario or are we talking about whistling?
realistic. Because I would say this Knicks team, everything we think they're going to do has turned out to be the most realistic scenario possible.
So okay. So here's my question to you. You're starting your top 2 centers. Do they stay healthy?
Ooh.
If they don't, then whatever center is in that bunch of names you mentioned you have to sign him to a two-way. Whatever center is in that group.
So okay, so you think we definitely need to have 4 big men, like
Yep.
already having a 4th, right? Okay, all right. So
Yep.
that means Najee. Okay.
Yeah. So even if he's on a two-way, you don't have to play him because remember a two-way. If you have 3 guys on the roster, the other guy is in
the G League. Yeah.
Right. But say Cat steps on Mitch's foot and he's out a week.
Mm-hmm.
You can still carry Mitch, Porty, and Najee.
Right.
Okay.
You
know so if you're talking about roster construction, I want to think that way a little bit.
Right. Okay.
All right. So then the other thing is what is the Knicks fans' primary concern? The primary concern that I hear on Lawrence Tears is we need another ball handler, right? Right. So who's the best ball handler out of that bunch? Somebody that can contribute some type of ball handling. That's what I would do. Whoever the best ball handler is.
That would be Kolek, wouldn't it?
Oh no, not out of that. Kolek's signed. He's already
signed, okay.
Yeah, it's out of these guys. You're talking about probably
none of them.
Well, no, I mean we talk. Dink Pate is a.
He don't handle the rock. He don't handle the rock like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say because if you bring in a veteran, then we'll move to the next need. So if the veteran that you bring in if that spot is earmarked for a ball handler, then we can look at the other issue.
Right.
Can we have a developmental young player travel with the team and learn the ropes and work his way up the depth chart? Right. And whoever you feel like is best out of that group. In my mind, it's a flat foot tie between Modi and Kev McCullough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, between those two, depending on if you're looking for high upside or steadiness contributing to a contender. Mm-hmm. I think McCullough adds a level of steadiness that could be added to a contender, even though he's a young player. Whereas Modi, if he gets that taste of development, we could really develop him into like the guy in Portland, the Tamari Kamara, the light this wing in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can develop him through sparse minutes, and the next thing you know, he could potentially be something like that. So with the third, I would say it's got to be somebody that you fear that you could lose. Right? So you give the third spot to somebody that if you leave them out there too long, that you might lose that guy. Right?
That's the way of looking at it.
Yeah, and so that's how I would look at it. Not, you know, who do I think is deserving of the spot? What does the team need? And definitely another big, because Cat and Mitch, they get dinged up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so while I'm not wishing injury on anybody, but playing physical center in the NBA leads to injuries.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So through that, I'd have to have Najee available just in case we're on the West Coast, somebody steps on a foot, and you have 4 games remaining on this West Coast trip. You can shoot that guy out there, and he can just get dressed, be the emergency break glass in case of emergency foul trouble center.
Right. No, and I think that makes sense. We should, I think from that standpoint, Najee should definitely be one of the, because you can't, once you let a Najee go, you don't have another 7-footer that you could pull from. So yeah, it makes sense to keep him around.
What's that other big name? Scuba?
Lucas Scuba. He hasn't done enough to open their eyes to get a spot.
6'11".
We know he can play, but when you haven't had a chance to really display it, you can't, he's not going to get ahead of.
I mean, who did display it outside of McCullers in the Summer League?
Well, Diawara looked good. Dink Pate, his last Summer League. First off, Dink Pate had a couple Summer League games where he got some rebounds that I was kind of surprised about, while scoring a couple points here and there, 8 to 6 points, whatever.
man, that kid is tough, bro.
But
You ain't
that
gonna
last
push this
game,
dude around. You're not gonna push this dude around. He's thin, but you're not gonna, man. He grabbed some boards and was mean mugging people, bro. I'm like, hey, this dude, he ain't scared of nobody, son. He looking for, like, he running to the beef.
did you see the last game, John?
No.
Last game, Dink Pate had 20 points, 10 rebounds,
Yeah.
3 assists.
Mhm.
But like he looked good and he was confident. His shot looked crazy. It don't look crazy.
Yeah.
It's not the beautiful. It's not a beautiful form, but he was very comfortable shooting it. And he got his signature, his windmill dunk. He
I'm
looked
just
great.
saying, we all know what we've seen in summer league in years past. I mean, Kevin Knox, we've seen it before. The question is,
I'll
the
tell you
NBA
right
is
now.
different, man.
I'm gonna tell you right now, John. Dink Payne ain't no Kevin Knox.
I'm just saying, man. Everybody, we've run through this year after
I
year
hear
where we
you.
call for
I
these
hear
guys
you.
and they don't. Just saying.
I
Now,
hear you.
Tyler Kolek has looked like that Kevin Knox, bro.
Hey, listen, from one year to the next, right?
Yeah. We'll see.
He signed already, so that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna feel a lot more confident and comfortable with
This is why I go back to saying anyone who they choose is gonna have to show it. It's gonna have to show it, in the off season, right
Mhm.
before the season begins, and they'll make the right decision,
No, you're right.
whatever that may be.
Right. Yep.
At the end of the day, right, the person who is chosen isn't gonna get that many minutes, regardless. Like you have to just like be on something crazy and shown something magical in practice in order to get any major minutes with this team.
Well,
It's just I don't see it happening.
and the only reason why I say I like Dink Pate's game, I mean, I know is because he looks like the type of guy who's willing to do whatever the team needs. And I'm very shocked and surprised at his rebounding. I think his rebounding is really good. I mean, he's not small, he's 6'8", but I'm still surprised at how he gets rebounds. He does a really good job of getting rebounds. So I think that's good for helping going forward. But either way, so yeah, along those lines with what Freezy said, I agree. I think, in my opinion, if it was up to me, it'd be Najee. It would be Najee would probably, I don't know, whoever they decide could get the second round rookie contract that's available. And then the other three would be McCullers. I'm definitely going McCullers. That's my guy. I'm going Dink Pate, and I'm going Diawara. Sorry, Beauchamp, but I'm going to say this, and I know a lot of
and Najee. So you don't want Najee either.
No. He's first. He's the one who either one. He's a part of it. So it's
Okay.
Najee, McCullough, Pate, and who the hell did I say?
Basically, the young
Diawara.
guys.
Yeah. So the thing about Beauchamp, let me just say this, guys, because I know some of y'all are gonna be freaking out. Beauchamp had a good game the last game. I think he scored a good amount or whatever, around 20. The game before that, he had 28. The game before that, he had a really good second half. But the problem with Beauchamp is that at his best, you're talking about someone who might be able to drop some buckets. But at his best, he's not a great defender. So if you're looking at somebody who you need to add to your current team that can make a difference, they need to be able to do a little bit more, in my opinion. So that's why I'm sorry, but Beauchamp is on the outs for me. I wish to do the best, and I want him to find a job somewhere else. But that's
Or
how.
be the G League for us.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. He could be the G League for us, and if anything changes down the line, yeah, why not?
And if he gets the last spot, what does it matter?
It
Doesn't
don't
matter.
Yeah, he's not playing anyway.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
break glass just in case, So I'm with
Correct.
you on that. Well, anyway, guys, listen. This has been a great show. Definitely a very good conversation, which it always is when I'm together with John, and especially now with Freezy on this show, because Freezy always brings out the best in the conversation, making you think a little bit more than you want to think. So appreciate you for that as always.
I'm probably
D Grant, Ron, you talking about on a vet minimum? No. Vet minimum is separate. We don't know who the hell they're going to do with the vet minimum. They're talking about Ben Simmons. There's not a lot of people left. I mean, how many guys are actually left? And let me say this one thing real quick because people have been bringing this up since Saturday. You're talking about Ben Simmons. You're talking about Brogdon. You're talking about Landry Shamet. Another guy that they keep bringing up is Coffee. Listen, if the Knicks ever want to see what the hell they have with these young players, you don't bring in Coffee. I know he's a little bit more polished. He's not known necessarily for his defense. Offensively, though, he's solid, very solid. He shoots well. But what the hell are you drafting guys? This is the second year of having them. These are the same dudes. They just haven't got there yet. How are you ever going to allow these guys to get there if you always bringing in somebody to block them? Coffee is McCullers. Coffee is Dadier. Go get somebody else, somebody different.
Ron, our guys are redshirt rookies. They didn't practice last year. They didn't play last year. Right? How are you going to develop if you don't play or you don't practice? So they're like redshirt rookies. Now I know people don't want to hear that, but that's just where we are. These are where we are. This is where we are with it, man. You know.
I see the chat throwing up Westbrook as well.
Yeah, well, and I think the Westbrook stuff is I don't think Westbrook wants to
to LA.
It's the role. I think and unfortunately that's the problem. Like we're in that situation where certain guys would come here, but they know their role is not going to be a big role unless something changes, and they don't want to. They don't want to waste their time. They want to play. People want to win, but they want to play too.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, can I bring up one thing about?
Yeah, sure.
So the Ben Simmons thing, I've been inundated with people who are saying that Ben Simmons is a mental midget, that he can't play in New York. Think about the places that Ben Simmons has been. Philly, Brooklyn, Los Angeles, right? He didn't become a superstar in Sacramento or Utah or Cleveland. Like he can play. I think part of that issue with him was the back issue, right? That for anybody that has ever been injured, you know how one thing can snowball into something else. So,
no, I agree with you, and that's something I said a while ago. That even though I know New York is a very tough place to play, I don't think it's going to be that big of it wouldn't be that big of a difference for Ben Simmons. He played in LA. He played with the Clippers. He played in Brooklyn. He's in our backyard. Like he was dealing with the scrutiny and the criticism. So I'm not worried about that part of it. I think he's dealt with enough. And Philly, let me tell you, we talk about the New York media. Philly is wild. All right. You get it bad in Philly. So.
And what if he get it right with the Knicks? Will Knicks fans love him?
I mean, I definitely think he would be embraced. Yeah, if he could do some big things for the team.
Play defense the right way.
Yeah,
that's the key.
That would be big.
Yeah.
It's the offense that is the unknown, right? On the offensive side.
That is.
We know he can handle the rock. We know he can pass the rock. We know he can play defense. Can he put it together on the offensive side? Can he get that mental block away from that mental block and at the very least drive the ball to the basket, hit a couple of layups, easy ones, putbacks, dunks, those things. You know what I mean? Which he wasn't capable of doing these last few years. Yeah. Those are the key
shots for Brunson and OG and Bridges. Can he throw the lob to Mitch?
Right, which we have no one in this team who can throw a lob outside of Kolek.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Yeah, I don't know why they don't do that, but yeah.
We don't have anyone who's capable of doing it. That's why.
I mean, I don't know what it is.
No, man. The NBA. Remember, the NBA has now become. I mean, it's always been sort of like players have a specific role, and you're good at your role. Not every player in the NBA can throw lobs. It's not as easy as Chris Paul makes it look.
Yeah, you might be right. Let me just get to this one this last super chat I see before we get out of here. Shout out to Brooklyn Knicks fan. Appreciate you for the generous super chat. He says, let McCall run point. Brunson off ball. You agree? I mean, it's definitely something that they could mess around with. And under Mike Brown, I think Mike Brown is going to experiment with a couple different things. It may not be McCall, but it could be McCall. It could be Jordan Clarkson. He's going to do different things, because one thing we other Knicks fans have brought up, which I agree with, because he likes to use certain guys in certain roles and have them be very flexible in what they can do, a la Malik Monk. He had Malik Monk doing a lot of different things outside of being a point guard, being a second distributor, as well as being the off guard, the scorer. He tries to use guys in different ways. So we'll see. That definitely something that could happen. I just think that we're going to be very surprised at how this Knicks team looks. In some cases, I will say I thought this was very interesting, but this is something we got to look at too. Even though the Knicks have been doing well over the last couple of years and improving in the playoffs, I saw a lot of people talking about the Knicks, old heads, young people, different styles of thought process, saying that they didn't like the way the Knicks play. They didn't like how basketball looked in a New York uniform. So that has to do with the ISO ball and the dribble and stuff like that. So under Mike Brown, we may see that change up a little bit. The game may be a little bit more entertaining. And because of that, that's going to make us a little less predictable, and allow our offense to grow a little bit more, and allow certain guys like even Mikal Bridges to flourish, especially with his old coach being here on the staff, Mr. Fwas. So it should be pretty interesting. We'll see. Anyway.
Not to mention Cat's going to look different in his play game, just because of how he ran Sabonis through, running a lot of the offense through Sabonis. It's going to be very similar for Cat.
Yeah. Well, all I'm going to say to my fellow Knicks fans is let's give it a chance first. We don't know what it's going to look like. Keep in mind, every year we've been Knicks fans, we always have doubts about everything that's happened. We had doubts about the coaching in the beginning, and yet we gave Thibodeau the benefit of the doubt because we knew what was here before him. Then when he was here, we started to question that. Then he started to make different moves, and we started to get better. Then we got better talent. And then we questioned the front office. Is this the right talent? Then we got Jalen Brunson. Oh, no, I don't know if he's going to. Then we were surprised. Then so on and so forth. So do the same thing with Mike Brown. I mean, let me not say that. Let's not do the same thing. Let's learn from that and give Mike Brown a chance to see what he can do with the team. Because as we all know, he's coming into a very tough situation. Not a lot of guys. That's the part that nobody talks about. Not a lot of people even want this job. You're like, oh, it's New York. It's the money. It's the atmosphere. It's the Mecca. It's the Garden. They got a good team. Nobody wants this pressure to replace Tibbs and know that you got to get to the finals. You know what? People don't want that. So it's a step up that he wanted to take, and let's rock with him and see what he can do. All right. Let me get around to my guys for their final words. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to everybody. Over 190 people watching across all platforms. Please smash that like button if you haven't already done so. It helps the channel. Please support our guy Uncle Freezy and Lawrence Tears. If you don't know, now you know. And let me show you this too, because some people forget what this looks like. I always forget. What's this like button thing? Just in case you forgot. Anyway, final words, my brother John.
As always, man, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Stay safe out there, stay blessed, and stay healthy. I'm looking forward to the next one. Peace.
Yeah, man, always a pleasure. Freezy, the one and only, the number one chief rocker, Mr. Lawrence Tears.
Yeah, I'm telling y'all now, I'm the concierge. I'm in charge of champagne menus and cigar menus. Come June, come see me. Right? Nice. Come see we. I got a direct connect with Dolan. Come see we for the champagne and cigar menus. And don't be talking about your own drink. Don't be talking about carbs. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I like it. I'm with it. And absolutely not, Anthony D. Not. If you watch the shows, you see that I was in Tibbs' corner until I wasn't. So that's it. It is what it is. I was there with them, rocking with them until I wasn't. And even towards the end, I still thought he was coming back. So It is what it is. Shout out to DJ Cash in the building, Nostalgic Nick, Jay Chosen, Kev from Knicks and Ish. Appreciate you. JJ in the building. Thank all you guys for tuning in. Please, if you're just joining late, smash that like button. But check the replay game, man. This was a replay game. This was a good show. I know I'm gonna watch it again. Y'all should watch it too. Shout out to Bodega Wi-Fi. Hotline Bling is a good song in the building. Long Island Sound. All of y'all, man. Thank you so much for being here and rocking with us. And as you know, I always say it. Tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Knicks fans. We'll be back again, whether it be on Monday nights at 9-ish for SKF Weekly with my brother John, my brother Jose on the ones and twos holding it down. Thank you once again to our special guest, Uncle Freezy from Blawrence Tears tonight. Or you can catch me on Saturdays at 11:30. Know the Ledge as I talk y'all off the ledge in the open panel setting. Appreciate you guys for always showing love to the programming, to the channel as we're on our road to 10K. Appreciate all your support. Smash the like button, keep subscribing, tell your friends, all that good stuff. And remember, excuse me, the good, the bad, the ups and downs, no matter what, we are still Knicks fans. Hey, and listen, you know what I like to say? Be good. Hey, but if you can't be good at it. We out, baby. Latest. Peace.
New York Knicks. First. Go Knicks.
We can finally, start playing, man. So much talk this whole summer. It's felt like so long because we've had so much to talk about. At times it's been kind of slow, but we've been talking, right? But we've actually had a really good off season for this New York Knicks team, and it's been very active. There's been a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, Knicks family, we in the building. I am the Objective fan from the Objective Knicks fan channel, and I'm gonna give a big salute to Ron and John from Still Knicks fans.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Knicks family, I'm Stephanie, aka Blood, those Soul Sports Talk, and
still Knicks.
What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, Lady and the Chef from Two Knicks Chicks Podcast. Still a Knicks fan.
What's good, party people in the place to be? It's your main man.
What's up, everybody? This is Steve Lodge 21 at Two Knicks Chicks Podcast, and I'm still a Knicks fan.
Yo, this is your boy Sim from Nothing But Knicks. Through all the struggles, through all the heartache and pain, ladies and gentlemen, I am still a Knicks fan.
Peace, y'all. This is Apollo Reaves from the Garden Knicks crew. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm still a Knicks fan.
I'm still here. We're still here. Still Knicks fans. It's a fandom. It's a lifestyle.